Welcome to Deep Dive Reddit Stories. Probably the only corner of the internet where we pull on our emotional waders and dredge up the internet's most, well, compelling stories. And let's be honest, sometimes seriously facepalm-worthy ones too.
Definitely. And today, we're not just waiting, are we? We are absolutely cannonballing into the deep end, the emotional abyss of modern relationships, you might say.
Or maybe just the digital wilderness of unrequited attention. Yeah, that feels right. We've got a real classic for you today.
We really do. It's from Arse Stories, the subreddit that calls itself Cutting Edge for sharing compelling narratives. Bit of branding there.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, the post is titled, "She Picked Someone Else, and That's When I Chose Myself." I mean, grab your popcorn, folks, because this one, it hits closer to home than a bad Wi-Fi signal.
Oof, yeah. So our mission today is basically to unpack this whole saga. It's about self-worth, or maybe initially the distinct lack of it.
Right. And the brutal honesty you only really get from internet strangers. We want to dig into what it actually means when you find yourself being the emotional designated driver for someone else's total relationship chaos.
We're here to entertain, critique a bit, and maybe, just maybe, make you feel a tiny bit better about your own love life tangles.
Yeah,
Because trust us, you are not alone in this.
definitely not. So let's get into the original post. The setup. Our OP ghosted soul lays out this story that just feels painfully familiar, doesn't it?
It really does. He talks about loving this girl who, as he puts it, never truly saw me. But here's the kicker. It wasn't like she was clueless.
Oh, no, not at all. He said straight up, she knew. She knew he cared deeply, knew he'd be there, knew he'd always reply, always listen, always show up.
Yeah, always show up when it mattered. That's the quote.
It's that classic dynamic, isn't it? The I'm here for you, but are you really here for you? Or just
Ah.
available? It's practically a
Yeah.
meaning.
It is. You're the sounding board, the shoulder to cry on, always picking up the pieces, and maybe, just maybe, you're hoping all that emotional labor somehow magically turns into something more.
Exactly. He even suspects it himself. He says she liked having that. Someone who made her feel special when she needed it, but never someone she wanted to keep. Ugh. That's the backup plan scenario right there.
Pure, unadulterated backup plan. The reliable, always on standby emotional support human. Sounds exhausting.
Totally exhausting. And then there's his take on her motivations. He says she played with hearts, though he does add it wasn't evil or malicious.
Right, more like she liked attention, she loved being wanted. And then the pivot to the OP's own, let's call it a significant blind spot.
Significant is putting it mildly. Gold medal level mental gymnastics, maybe. He admits it. I ignored the red flags. I justified her hot and cold energy.
And the classic self-talk. I told myself, she's just figuring herself out. Maybe one day she'll see that I'm the one who actually cares.
Wow. It's honestly incredible the kind of narratives we build, isn't it? Justifying someone else's clear lack of interest. We're writing Academy Award-winning screenplays in our heads about their potential maybe one day.
Meanwhile, all the signs are flashing dead end. It's like watching that slow-motion train wreck, but, you're the train conductor.
Right. Steering directly into the wall of delusion. What is it psychologically that keeps people hanging on to that maybe?
Well, often it's a deep need for validation, isn't it? And this flawed belief that if you just persist, if you just try harder, they'll suddenly see your worth. It's a trap.
A very common trap. And then, inevitably, comes the choice. She picks someone else.
Yeah. And he says, not because he was better, not because he loved her more, but because he was more exciting. A thrill, a challenge.
The age-old story. He's the reliable Honda Civic, steady, dependable.
And she wanted the flashy sports car. High maintenance, maybe, but exciting.
And all the while, he was still there. The safety net. The backup.
Yeah.
The guy she texted after fights with Mr. Excitement.
The one she called crying at 2 a.m. Never chosen, but never really let go either.
Because, who turns down a free 247 emotional support hotline, right? And this realization, he says, it shattered me.
Which is a pretty dramatic way to say, I realized the rom-com was only playing in my head.
Basically, so at that point, shattered and all, he makes a decision. A big
A
one.
profound one, you could say. And frankly, maybe a bit overdue. He just stopped.
No big fight. No drama. Which is kind of interesting in itself, just silence.
Yeah, he started giving cold, dry responses. He even told her, go spend time with your boyfriend. He stopped the check-ins, the how was your day.
Stop doing all that emotional heavy lifting he'd been doing for free.
Exactly. And eventually, he just vanished. Poof, gone. That app you use once and forget exists.
And then, big surprise. The emotional vending machine stopped dispensing free validation. Quell surprise.
What do you mean he's not on call for my 2 a.m. crises anymore?
Right. He describes her reaction perfectly. At first, she acted confused, then annoyed, then angry.
Of course. She hated that I changed, that I was no longer the guy waiting at her emotional doorstep.
The irony is just chef's kiss.
Hmm.
She actively chose someone else, but couldn't stand the void he left behind.
Something felt missing, the emptiness I used to fill. It's almost comical, really, like complaining your favorite free sample stand at the store closed down, even though you never bought the actual product.
So true. Okay, so that brings us to the comments section, which, as always on Reddit, is just a glorious, messy reflection of humanity itself.
Oh, absolutely. And the immediate reaction, just this wave of validation for the OP, like totally overwhelming.
Yeah, comments like, sometimes walking away is the bravest thing you can do, and bravo, you chose yourself, just poured in.
And people sharing their own stories, too. Polly Drew said he was giving the boyfriend experience without commitment, realized it, backed off, found his wife. Good for him.
Right. And C Administrative 673 had one where the guy got married and still wanted her to be that person. She was just like, nope, done, blocked him.
Oof. No argument, no big blow up, just blocked. Sometimes that's the only way, isn't it?
Seems like it. Then Overkill 3K chimed in, saying he could care less now about his person. He's okay with friendship, but, quote, not giving the energy I once gave. Setting boundaries.
And Mystic's Destruction drops some serious wisdom. 2 lessons learned. Number 1, don't date a girl with ex-boyfriend issues. Number 2, be selfish when it comes to your heart. That is okay.
Okay, Dr. Phil. But honestly, good advice. It's amazing how the internet can sometimes just rally around you like that, right? Instant support group.
It seems that way initially, but it wasn't all just pats on the back. There was that important counter perspective, the nice guy critique.
Ah, yes. Someone literally commented,
Huh. Oh.
nice guy factory over here.
And another one elaborated saying, like, there's nothing obvious in that story that suggests she ever viewed him as anything other than a friend.
Yeah, basically asking, did she know he wanted more, or did she just think her good friend suddenly ditched her for no reason?
I'm getting serious nice guy vibes from this story, they said. Which, raises a really interesting point.
It really does. Is this a story about manipulation? Or is it maybe a story about, like, terrible communication on both sides, misinterpreted signals?
It's so easy to paint the other person as the villain when things don't go our way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially if maybe we weren't crystal clear about what we wanted in the first place.
Exactly. Did he ever actually say, hey, I have feelings for you? The post doesn't specify that part. It's all his internal experience.
And that's why the comment from Vast Reflection is so fascinating. She actually identifies as that girl, someone on the other side of this dynamic.
Whoa, okay, that takes guts to admit online. What did she say?
Well, she talked about a guy who did what the OP did, just walked away, ghosted her, basically. And her reaction, honestly, I'm proud of him.
Wait, proud, not angry or confused.
Proud. She said, I wish I could have seen where he ended up, but I'm so glad he did what he needed to.
Okay, that completely flips the script. That shatters the idea that the person getting all the attention is just like oblivious or enjoying the power trip.
Exactly. It suggests a level of self-awareness, maybe even guilt or discomfort that we don't usually hear about in these narratives.
So what else did she say?
Well, she then talked about the guys who don't walk away, who just keep hanging on. She said, it bothers me more and more.
Why does it bother her?
Because, she says, there is still a part of me that wishes we could actually be real, genuine friends without attraction and history getting in the way. But she knows they won't let go of the hope for more.
Wow. So she feels stuck too, in a way.
Kind of, she says, so it leaves me to do the hard thing because they refuse to. Meaning, she feels she has to be the one to create distance or cut ties because they won't accept the friendship boundary.
Man, that adds a whole other layer of complexity. The burden shifts. It's not just the person hoping for more who's suffering. The person who can't reciprocate feels trapped too.
It's less rom-com misunderstanding and more messy, real-life human stuff where maybe everyone just needs some therapy.
Totally. Did she talk about her own reasons?
Yeah, she was incredibly open. She said, it's part of the thing I'm going to therapy for. I lost all faith in romantic love after quite a shakeup.
So she's dealing with her own stuff too.
Right. I'm trying to be better for myself right now. I'm trying to figure out why I have such a hard time letting go in general. And she gave really direct advice
What was it?
to people in her position. If you know that they are hanging on because they are hoping for more and you don't feel the same, it is only right of you to cut them off. Stop stringing them on, please.
Wow. Okay, so Yeah, not some cartoon villain, just complicated, human.
Yeah.
It really drives home how vital clear communication and boundaries are, doesn't it?
Absolutely. From everyone involved. Having those tough conversations, either expressing interest or clearly defining friendship, even if it's awkward or painful short term.
Because that long-term ambiguity, that seems way worse
Yeah.
based on everything we've just heard.
Definitely.
Mhm.
So, if we try and pull out some key takeaways from this whole deep dive, what have we really learned from the digital trenches today?
Okay, takeaway number one feels pretty clear. Your self-worth is non-negotiable. Like the OP finally realized, I deserve to be someone's first choice.
Yeah, and the comments hammered this home. First is not a second option. Love yourself first, always.
Hmm.
Appreciate and value yourself. It's like the internet's collective wisdom finally shouting, stop being the participation trophy.
Exactly. It's not just about romance, is it? It's about knowing your value separate from what you offer someone else.
Yeah.
Stop trying to be the sidekick. Star in your own movie.
Right, and key insight too. Love isn't transactional. This isn't some kind of emotional arcade game.
Totally. That comment from Gerke nailed it. Love and attraction is not transactional. The more you invest, the more you receive in return. That is not how the world works.
You can't just keep feeding nice guy tokens into the machine and expect a relationship prize to pop out. Life's not a gumball machine.
No. The universe isn't running on Reddit karma, people.
Uh-huh.
So, okay, what's the bottom line here for us, for you listening?
Well, I think it comes back to what the OP and others aimed for. Peace over pain. That's the ultimate goal, right? Recognizing when a situation is hurting you, whether you're the one hoping or the one unable to reciprocate.
And choosing yourself, choosing peace. Whether that means walking away like the OP, setting firm boundaries like Vast Reflection advised, or just hitting that block button with zero regrets.
Exactly. It's about self-preservation and ultimately, yeah, self-love.
So recapping today's deep dive into the messy, raw, unfiltered soul of Reddit, sometimes the bravest move is just walking away, silently exiting stage left.
And sometimes you realize you're not the romantic lead in their story. You're the awesome supporting character who finally decided you deserve your own feature film.
Yeah. And this whole choosing yourself thing, it's not just a Reddit trope. It's for anyone out there stuck in some kind of emotional holding pattern, circling an airport where you're never going to get clearance to land.
Yeah. Which brings us to a thought for you, our listeners. What does choosing yourself actually look like in your life right now?
Yeah. Is it finally ghosting that draining friendship? Is it setting some much-needed boundaries, maybe with family, maybe at work?
Or perhaps it's finally making that call, getting therapy for that thing you keep pushing down.
Lots to think about. So, if this little excavation into the digital heart of darkness resonated with you, or maybe just made you feel slightly less alone in the weirdness.
You know what to do. Hit that subscribe button like it owes you validation.
Huh, yes. And drop us a comment. Tell us your I chose myself moment, or hey, even your wow, I really should have chosen myself back then moment. We're
Yeah.
here for all of it. The cringe, the triumphs, the lessons learned.
We are. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed.
And maybe, just maybe, pay attention to those red flags,
Yeah.
This has been Deep Dive Reddit Stories.